Yeah, and that's it. I'll say no. We just started talking about it, and I said, you know, I think that there's something here. I think we could do something with this, and but I think that the only way for us to do it would be if we did it in a non-exploitative way, and we treated it with like a sense of reality. And for me, I wanted to do it as if it were. There was no reason to treat it as if it were men were abducted, meaning that like if you had a film, and it was called Raze, and it was about 50 dudes that were abducted, and they were in these pits underground, you would never have like the shower scene with a bunch of dudes where it's like, hey, I've been alone for a while. And it's like, so, but it seems like in every type of thing that has to do with women, it's like there's got to be some kind of like sexuality bullshit where it's like, why? So it was like, let's treat it as if it's men. Just treat it in the same way.
Clearly, right?
Well, we don't need that. We don't need nude scenes. We don't need sex scenes. Let's just treat it as like a straight up action movie with the situation itself is horrific. So let's just treat it with a sense of, I don't know if I want to say grace because it's repulsive, but grace. So, yeah.
Great. Anyone else?
No.
Right there?
How come there wasn't more Schwartzy and Pagana in it?
I assume you're a friend. No, look, that wasn't.
I got the long answer.
Yeah, that wasn't lack of trying. And for those of you that don't, I'm not handing the mic over. For those of you that don't know, this is Andy Pagana and his partner. They do a little comedy duo, Schwartzy and Pagana, and they are like the two workers that she massacres with a cleaver. And like, look, they wanted to be in every scene of the entire movie, but we had to fight. She had to fight, he had to fight, we all had to fight for that not to happen.
We had a lot of great jokes that were completely cut in the early script.
Next question.
Yeah, next question.
It's a real shame those didn't end up in there. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah. For you.
How does it feel to make a movie like Rocky feel like Dora the Explorer?
Well, hearing you say that made me feel pretty awesome. Yeah.
You know what? It was all that for sure.
You mean in a good way?
Absolutely. It was intense from the beginning to the end.
I was just saying, someone said to me, oh, you know it's going to be great. And I was like, to be honest, I don't know about these guys. I mean, I know we've all lived with it so close for like, what is it, like almost 2 years, a year and a half?
About a year and a half.
But it's become almost impossible for me to be objective. I mean, I watch it and I see every little nuance, every little twitch that someone did that I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. But the rest of the people see it the first time, they're like, what? And I'm like, that little smile.
No, it was brilliant.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're brilliant.
How long was training? How long did you guys train? Did you all the women train together, or was it like, you know, did it make it that much more real when you guys were fighting?
Yeah, I mean, there was literally one gag that actually I don't think even ended up in the movie where we had a stunt double. So, and obviously that shit comes kind of second nature to me. In fact, first nature. The dialogue part is slightly second nature to me. But all the other girls trained for, how long were they in training before?
Like about a month and a half. They would come and they were doing...
They were working with our stunt coordinator, James Young.
Boxing training with
Kenny.
He used to be a professional boxer.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, half of them did training with their own like peeps outside. But it was all, they were all, I mean, that was one of the things that I noticed early on. I was like, man, if these seasoned actors are taking the action this seriously, I best be taking those words seriously. Yeah. I best mean it when I'm crying, you know, like, and I mean, it was amazing. So the choreography, and you know, we didn't have the budget to be paying people to be there. We didn't have a pre-production budget. And these girls, these women all turned up, and I mean, you see it. There are no doubles, and when someone's got a stance, that's all them. That's not quite Muay Thai. That's like, you know, like Cody's little stance. That's all her being Cody, and that's her fighting for her life as Cody. And it's like, yeah. Am I like it's going to come out.
With that, one of the things that we talked about a lot is we wanted to reveal characters through the fights and how they fought.
Sorry.
I kind of lost my train of thought. Thanks, Josh.
What I was going to say is we were trying to avoid the whole, like, this is wushu versus karate. Don't get, like, Street Fighter stuff. We were trying to avoid that, but we wanted the fights to stand apart, and the way that we figured to do it was the way it would happen in real life. Like, Sabrina would fight. She's not going to be a wrestler, per se, but she'll fight for her kid, however she fights for her kid. Cody will fight the way she fights. Teresa fights, she's a trained boxer, and she comes from a place of maternal caring. So she's fighting Cody, and she's not going to be like, fuck you, bitch, I'm going to fucking murder you, you know, because she gives a fuck, and that's the speaking language. It's just like,
They're not surprised.
no, I mean,
People are.
but a huge part of us separating the fights was the intention behind the way you fight as opposed to the style of fighting, which was important for me because I really didn't want this movie to become, there's nothing wrong with Street Fighter, loved the game and the movie, but we didn't want this to be, no, it's not on the street, whatever.
Or more.
Or Mortal Kombat. Next question.
Are there any other questions? I have a question. Where the pits? What are those? Did you just reconstruct those, or did you find them in a place? Or?
Rob Howard, our production designer, is right there waiting. Okay, listen. We have to just say, this man, every single set that you saw, he built. Everything was built on a soundstage in Burbank. Wait. For a little over $30,000 total.
Wow. Don't say that out loud. He's
Fuck that. Like, this guy did, like, impressive things for very little.
That's not what he got
so much more than that.
But yeah, that was for the
I have a lot
budget.
of
His
help
salary was like $80,000, but like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Talk to my agent.
Yeah. Or something.
Okay, any other questions out there?
You guys are scared.
Oh, okay. You, sir, and then we'll go to this guy.
So there was a point in the film where really the same thing happened, which was two women were fighting, but we cut from us being really upset about it to us cheering it on, and that's when we kind of had sort of this villain versus the hero. But really at the most basic level, it was still the same situation of two women fighting for their lives. How did you think about that? How did you kind of pull that off? That for us it was just almost like a night and day reaction. There were people cheering, and it just kind of hit me that it's still the same situation.
Did everyone hear that out there in the back? Pretty cool.
I think the correct answer is I don't know. No, I mean, truthfully, I don't know exactly how we pulled it off. I think that had to do with realizing that all of the women were going to be fighting in the same arena. It was the same situation, and trying to find an interesting way to shoot each of the sequences. And everybody's different. Every single one of us is different. There's no individual that's, I mean, it's a cliche, but no individual is alike. So no fight is going to be alike. No situation is going to be the same. It's all going to be different.
You guys should hate Phoebe. That was the whole
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. You
I
guys
mean,
have to
Phoebe's a
hate
bitch
her.
and you want her to die, but goddamn, she's fun. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, we try to treat every single character with respect, even if they were a bitch, you know, or even if they were fighting for their daughter or their mother or their cousin or husband or whatever. It's like, you know, I think that, you know, actors, like, you're never supposed to judge your character. You know, you can't. So, you know, I tried not to judge them. We tried not to judge them as
I hated
filmmakers
Phoebe,
and let them
just-
do what she did. But
I
as a
felt
producer,
loud.
she loved her.
Yeah.
As Sabrina, she
Hated it.
But, I mean, I let each of the actors like do their thing. I trusted them to develop their characters, and then we just like went for it. And I think it turned out. I mean, I'm very proud of all the actors in this, like women and the men. So.
Was there one right here? Sorry. Yes.
It's more of a comment than a question. I'm with a large group of the audience, large group who'll be watching the movie in the future. Fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Good. Thank you. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, I'm like pointing. I'm like this guy.
I think we have time for one more. Yes, right there.
I was just going to ask about the,
No, she pointed at you. I pointed at him. It's my bad.
sorry.
I'm like bright orange. I think I got the right to do anything.
Now we have to take it. That would be
I'm like
nice.
directing traffic.
I was just going to ask, like, was it hard just nailing the tone of the movie? Because you go from really harrowing, hard to watch, faces getting beaten to a pulp to this really kind of dark secret society humor stuff. Like, was it hard to just nail that balance between horrific and humorous?
That question alone makes us feel like maybe we nailed it.
I mean,
was hard.
I mentioned this before. I'm not sure. I cannot remember who said this quote. It was some film where it was like Kubrick or something like that. To where there's like, yeah, it was you. It was like, it was either Kubrick or you. It was, you know, there's the film that you write, the film that you shoot, and then there's the film that you cut. And like the film that we shot, we took very seriously. I mean, I took very seriously, and there was nothing campy, there was nothing funny about it. Even if it was like a kind of humorous line, it wasn't like funny while we were there. You know, it was a serious line. And then when I was cutting it together, you know, the humor came out in the edit, which Brett Bachman, our editor, can we just give it up for him? He's incredible. Can we just? I want to say one thing. This kid, and he is a kid, this is the first feature he's ever edited.
Wow!
And he edited 2 features at the exact same time. So, Brett Bachman, you're amazing. You know, but like, in terms of like filmmaking, I mean, like, look, I was born in '74. I went to the Amblin Film School, which is like Spielberg and like all that, where like if you watch Jaws, there's a lot of fear in that, and there's a lot of laughs in it. And the same thing applies to, you know, a lot of the films that we've grown up with. You watch Die Hard, I mean, there's parts of that film that are like really hard to watch, and it's gripping, and like, you can't tell me that there's not like a shitload of laughs in Die Hard. But it's just like, I mean, it's like life, you know? I mean, in the most, I mean, that sounds so stupid. That sounds, our movie's just like life, yeah, that's true. No, but like, but it's true. It's that like,
there was also a balance because, you know, when I was
early
on, I was action, all the way to the end. And Josh was like, no, we got to give time for the audience to breathe.
Because we had 19 fights in the movie. It's not like you had that much time to breathe.
I'm just starting to breathe now, by the way.
It's just, you know, it's tough because you're, like, it's relentless. And and we've kind of felt like, it's like, if it was just like fight after fight after fight after fight, people would just be like, I can't take this, I'm gonna check it out. So, like, I personally would check out. You know, so we just had to fight like
that. The 4 of us balance each other well too. Like, if it was Josh's way, we would have just been crying and like emoting. I'm exaggerating. And if it was Kenny's movie, emoting. And if it was Kenny's movie, we would have just been pummeling.
Emote!
We would have just been pummeling the whole movie. Between the 2 of them, and with a little splatter of him and I in there, it kind of somehow we managed to, I guess, find the balance.
I'm surprised there's no jazz hands in the fight. You like killed Kenny and you're like, ah.
I mean, we went to battle about this stuff. Like, regularly, we went to battle about it, you know, and obviously...
And Zoe won every time.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah, sure. But it was amazing.
I feel all the pressure now.
It better be good.
In regards to the action, just like the pure physicality of the movie, obviously, you guys were talking about you used doubles, you guys were in there doing it. I was just curious as to like how many, were there any injuries while you guys were doing this? Like how many times did you guys actually ever hurt each other? Was it pretty easy, or were there accidents on the set too? Like,
Easy's not
Zoe made Rachel bleed, but it wasn't on this project. Boom! Boom! Yeah! Oh, there was no injuries.
I'm just considering how much action there is.
No, we got, yeah, it was, I was blown away by the end of it when I was like, I'm whole, and I didn't break anybody else. No one else broke anybody else.
There was
Amazing.
bruising.
Oh, heaps of bruising and scratches.
There was one.
I didn't get hurt.
I did. Well, there was one. So there was one scene or part of a scene that we actually cut out where there was some pain, but we cut it out of the movie. So Phoebe grates Cody's face, cheese grates it down the wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was not. She didn't do that. No, I'm saying like that was not the pain. Can you let me finish really quick? You don't know what I'm going to say.
It's true.
At the end of it, we were like, I was like, I think that like Phoebe should be taking out her thing on like Cody, even though she's dead. She should be like kicking her and stuff like that. And so we were like back on the monitor, and we're like, Rebecca, like take it out on Cody, take it out on Cody. And so we're on the monitor, and we hear this like, and we're like, what is that noise? What is that thing? And then we like finish, and Cody, Bailey like walks up, and she's like. And we're like, what was going on? And Rebecca was like, I was like really kicking her. I didn't mean to. And she felt so bad. She thought that that's like, I don't know. It was like, that was the only pain. Rebecca, you killed it. TV is amazing. I think that was the only slight injury in the thing.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one more girl, and then we really do have to wrap it up. Yes.
When does Raze 2 come out?
We were thinking we might do a prequel.
Yeah.
It's been going on for thousands
know,
of years. We do a Grease one
we
way
wrote-
back in the day, and then we'll be thinking.
Yeah, we wrote.
About the Olympics.
We wrote some synopsis.
We
I
don't
wrote
know.
like a brief synopsis
We need to sell
for
this,
Raze
this
2,
guy.
3, 4, and 5. There's a franchise that like I kind of like outlined and talked to the crew.
It ain't
that
over
traces
yet.
it back all the way back to its
You ain't
roots.
saying nothing yet.
So,
there's more.
like you said, it ain't over yet. But thank you for coming tonight.